Hello everybody and welcome to another Mythology Monday with me, your host, Alice. Today we are going to be talking about a really fun Greek mythology monster specifically, and that is the Hydra. Now, if you've never heard of the Hydra, it means water dragon, and it is that serpent type creature that has a whole bunch of heads that eventually grows up to become 100 heads. Now, normally it is referred to as having 9 heads to begin with, 8 of which were mortal, 1 of which was immortal. And its most famous story is that it is one of the monsters that Hercules was sent to defeat in his 12 trials. So clearly the problem with a 9-headed monster with 8 heads being immortal is that as soon as he would cut off any of those heads, 2 more would grow in its place. That's why the 9 heads would quickly become 100, because as he continually cut them off, then they would double. Every one that got cut, 2 more would spring up in its place. So how he ultimately defeated it was that he got his nephew, what's his name? Iolaus, to come and help him. What they did was Hercules would go ahead and cut off one of the heads of the Hydra, and then his nephew would cauterize it. So if you don't know what cauterize is, it's where you burn a wound shut. So if you're bleeding and you can't control the bleeding to cauterize it, you burn it shut so it can't continue to bleed. And in the case of the Hydra, when they cauterized where the head had come off, no new heads could grow from it. So this was the way that they were able to finally defeat the Hydra. It didn't specifically say about what they did with the immortal head, but I'm assuming you cut it enough times it stops coming as well. But so the other fun thing about the Hydra was that the blood from the Hydra is actually poisonous or toxic, whatever you want to refer to it as. And so what Hercules did after he defeated it is he took all of his arrowheads that he was using for his 12 trials and he dipped them all into the Hydra's blood so that they would end up being even more deadly and vicious than they had been before. Now, the Hydra's parents, in case you're wondering, come from Echidna and Typhon. Echidna, if I said that right, is a half woman, half snake monster, and Typhon is a massive serpent monster with tons of snake heads on top of his body, and they spewed fire. So somehow these two monsters came together and they made the Hydra, and they also made Cerberus. So apparently the Hydra and Cerberus are siblings, which is really funny when you think about the fact that one is a 3-headed dog and another one is a serpent monster that has 9 heads. So apparently a lot of Greek mythology had these really strange sibling pairings. I'm not quite sure how Cerberus came to be from that, considering both were snake or serpent type monsters, and yet they made a dog. But whatever, you can't judge Greek mythology. They are just the way that they are. But I love Cerberus too much to judge where he came from because he's really fun. But yeah, so those are the Hydras. With regards to my story itself, I don't actually have a Hydra yet at this point in my story. I don't know if I will, because the serpent snake type monster does not really fit in with what I'm going with. But I do have Cerberus in my book, so I had to talk about his siblings as well, because it's only fair. We can't show too much favoritism here. Not too much, at least. But yeah, so if you've heard of other versions of the Hydras, well, let me know in the comments what your favorite story is with them. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great Monday and happy reading. Bye.